Ever since February, U.S. President Donald Trump's domestic approval numbers have been dropping. In a Real Clear Politics average of polls, he's nearing 55% disapproval rate from Americans surveyed. And at the G-20, his views also set him apart from the other 19 economies, particularly on trade and climate change. On trade, the G20 communique condemns protectionism and advocates reciprocal trade frameworks. That notion of reciprocity is something Trump regularly advocates for. The notion of protectionism is something U.S. trading partners often accuse him of supporting. The communique also makes clear that the United States stands alone in its decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. In fact, there is one paragraph devoted to American promises with respect to climate and a separate one for the other 19 members. They agree that the Paris Agreement is irreversible. On the DPRK nuclear issue, Trump now has to work with an ROK leader who is more open to dialogue than his predecessor. He's been openly frustrated with the advances in Pyongyang's ballistic missile program, as evidenced by the recent ICBM missile test, and is pushing Beijing harder for a solution. His meeting with ROK and Japanese counterparts resulted in a statement that seems to pull back from using military options, but at the same time, Trump's made public remarks about considering, quote, severe options against Pyongyang, so some dissonance in the approach there. And finally, Trump's meeting with Putin on the sidelines of the G20 certainly filled the cable TV news airwaves back at home. Notably, Putin and Trump announced a ceasefire in Syria. And on Ukraine, Tillerson has appointed a special envoy to oversee the Minsk Agreement implementation and end the crisis in Ukraine. Much was made of the two leaders' conversation over whether Moscow interfered in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Putin denied any involvement and claims Trump accepted his word. A senior White House official was asked on the flight back to Washington whether Trump indeed agrees with Putin's assertion that Moscow did not meddle in the 2016 U.S. election. The official did not refute that characterization. Jessica Stone, CGTN, Washington.